All right, folks. Today is one of those days, that kind of reinforce some of the ideas people may have when it comes to the real role, all right, the real impact that Mr. Adam Aron, the CEO of AMC, has on the short squeeze play. Because I already shared this with you earlier on my video that I posted today. We have now, information that, he's done selling the stock, all right? He's done selling the stock. And for the last 3 months, he's been selling $42.1 million worth of AMC stock. And the latest sale was $7.1 million worth of AMC. So based on this, some people are saying, well, we told you, all right? We told you he is not with apes. He's not in favor of retail investors. He's just doing its own, right? So really, what should you consider? What should we really consider when it comes to Mr. Adam Aron? All right. So I'm going to go over, as always in life, there are two coins. There are two faces of every story. There are two sides of every story. So first side of the story, let's go over arguments that people advance, that put forward when it comes to he's not the silverback. He's not what, he's pointing out or reflecting as image, So first off, the first thing is he's been selling shares. So why does he sell shares if he, believes, if it's really a true ape, what does it sell shares if the price is supposed to go higher and higher when the short squeeze is here? Well, that's the number one, and it's a debatable, kind of answer. But let's go to the other argument. Other argument is, well, he's actually playing and surfing on the trend, because if you really look at the facts, AMC stock is the most searched stock on Google in 2021. Is the number one trending stock on Twitter, Reddit, and some other social media many times in 2021. And it seems like it's continuing to be the case so far in 2022. So based on that, there is some exposure to gain from Adam Aron as the CEO of AMC Theaters Company. Why? Because if nobody is talking and searching and looking for AMC stock and for whatever is happening with AMC, then he doesn't really have that much exposure, because he can use that advantage on retail investors, millions of millennials and maybe potentially boomers buying into the company stock in order to actually gain that exposure, gain that image, because it will give him the ability to actually push some points, push some agenda forward. What agenda it is, yet nobody knows exactly, but that's what some people are putting forward, because as soon as the squeeze is done, because this is not kind of a long-term investment for a bunch of us, we're really here for the short squeeze money, all right? And once we get that short squeeze money, we're going to be all out. Not all out, but personally, I'm not going to be out. And I know some of the people that are following my videos and some people I talk with on social media are also expected to keep some money invested in AMC. But for the majority of them, we will sell a bunch of the shares to collect the tendy, to collect that money from the short squeeze and move on. And that's why Mr. Aron, according to some people, is here actually using this to its advantage, because once this whole thing is done, then there's going to be nobody really investing into the stock. So he really has to push as much as possible now in order to get also as much as possible whenever and still AMC is trending, right? So second argument. And the third argument is, well, how do you know he's not working with the hedges? How do you know he's not working with Citadel? Because he's part of this whole circle. He went to Harvard, he's a millionaire, he's a CEO. So ultimately, there are things that he might have done so far, especially when it comes to the NFT dividend. Because, Mr. Cohodes, Mark, it seems like he got in touch with Adam Aron a couple of months ago and showed exactly how this whole thing could have worked when it comes to implementing that solution that's going to force the short squeeze to happen. All right? How can you sit there as a CEO and do nothing about the share price plunging just solely based on market manipulation? And how come 80% of retail investors are owning the stock, owning the company, yet the price is dumping 50% over the last 3 months? Do something. right? So these are the main arguments that some people are putting forward when it comes to, hey, what are you really doing? You're not really in favor, all right? So now let's look up the other side of the story, the other face of the coin, argument on why he is really the silverback. Well, first of all, back to the first argument, against the haters. This is really one of the perfect illustration that I've usually, mentioned on my videos when it comes to being aware and being conscious of when you own a lot of money on a stock based on the volume. All right. These guys is sitting on millions and millions of shares of AMC stock. All right. This is mostly his compensation as a CEO, which is not surprising because a bunch of those CEOs, it's really the same compensation package. So what if you were sitting on millions of shares of AMC and you went from $2 to $25? You're literally going from 2 million worth of AMC stock or 4 million worth of AMC stock in dollars to 80 million, 40 million, 120 million. Are you really going to sit there and wait for the stock to go to, 500 million? You are already making life-changing money, especially given your age. He's 60 something. So that's one of the arguments he's posting, and I think it's rational. It's kind of logical, all right? The guy has to look out for himself, so that's what the other side is thinking, all right? And then the other side, in favor is actually saying that, hey, so far, he's actually been doing so many things in favor of the company when it comes to increasing the income stream, getting the cash that the company has been acquiring so far this year in order to go on the offense, acquiring other theaters, you're reducing the debt, getting into some of the businesses like the popcorn business, getting into crypto, where AMC is now in a position to offer Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, Litecoin, etc., all right? So he's doing whatever he's been possibly able to do alongside top management in order to give this company a bright future. And this is fact, so I don't think it's could be taken away from him and the whole team. So based on this, personally, and feel free to comment or agree or disagree, but personally, I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whether you think he's a silverback, whether you think he's working with the hedges, I think it doesn't matter because I don't think he has much impact on the squeeze rather than just the shorts covering, or maybe regulators like the SEC or even the DOJ and the DTCC doing something according to the law and according to the books in order to force them and do what they're supposed to do for us to be rich, all right? Because if it was the case, then I think he would already done something. Even with the NFT dividend, I don't think it's that easy. I think there might be something preventing that from happening from his point of view, or from the legal standpoint. I don't know. But what I know is the very only biggest catalyst on this to reach unimaginable high when it comes to the short squeeze is the shorts covering, buying our shares. And we get to decide at what price they will get those shares. That's really the bottom line, folks. It doesn't matter if Mr. Aron is selling shares or no, even though it will dilute, that doesn't change the fact that the short sellers are still not covering and retail investors are still not selling. And until that changes, the rest is just circumstantial. That's what I think personally. Let me know what you think in the comment section.